All right, how's everyone doing? I am Rich CELENZA. Thanks for checking out the Rich CELENZA show. So, actually, I heard something. I think it was on TikTok of all places, and it said, "Am I depressed or am I disappointed?" And it kind of nailed it for me because a lot of times throughout my life, I never found myself being depressed. I found myself being moody at times, and the reason I was moody is because I was aggravated. I wasn't the type of guy who would lay around and have people really feel sorry for myself or any of that stuff. Quite the opposite. I'm kind of very driven to a certain point. But I have realized, especially lately in the last couple years, that I can't say depressed, but I've been very aggravated regarding a lot of things not working out the way I wanted them to work out. And then on the other end, I'm very happy, though, the way a lot of other things worked out for other people, including my own family members, my daughters, and things, compared to what they went through. It's been a blessing. So I'm not here by any means to boo-hoo myself to tell everyone, wow, it didn't work out for Rich the way he wanted. But I think a lot of people need to become self-aware. And I think a lot of people, too, that I see, they think they're depressed, which they may be. Of course, if you have depression and all that, I'm not a doctor. I don't know what you have. But I do think there's a fine line, kind of like with love and hate, depression and, like I was saying earlier, what the hell was I saying earlier? Sometimes my mind slips here. My goodness gracious. Between being depressed, and disappointed. Because I think a lot of people get disappointed in their life, or it could be at their job, it could be within their own family, it could be where they ended up, obviously, or others ended up, all these different types of things. And it's hard to deal with. It is. And, sometimes things, the truth is, they're not going to work out a lot of times the way you planned. I don't care how much time and effort or even money you have, it just doesn't go the way you want to go. I talk a lot about that in relationships with men and women. I don't care if you're husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend. You can't control other people. Also, if you have kids, for instance, right? They may do things that you don't approve of. It's not always going to go your way. It's not going to always be the house with the white picket fence and the happily married couple for 50, 70 years or whatever the case may be. Your business or where you work, you may not be there for as long as you thought. You also may have your own business. You may go out of business. All these things are going to happen maybe throughout your life, and you got to deal with them. You got to deal with them, and it's aggravating at times. For this year with COVID, though, I've been spending a lot of time by myself, and I took this test, which was quite interesting because I always thought it was 50% introvert, kind of 50% extroverts. That's kind of how I perceived myself, because you could put me in big groups, and I'll talk and laugh, and I can take over or whatever, and then other times I can shut down, too, for long periods of time and be very quiet. But it came up I was way more introverted. And I was kind of shocked at that. And then talking to my girlfriend, she's like, yeah, you're way more introverted than you are extroverted. And I was like, holy shit, you kind of sometimes don't know who you truly are. Now, I'm not saying, of course we know who we are, but when it comes to those, I'm not saying taking a test is going to actually nail me on the head. But after I did think about like the last couple weeks, because I took this with my daughter, I guess they take these certain tests in college, and they kind of just pinpoint certain things in your behavior. And I'm much more independent. I'm not really good to I'm good in groups when I'm in control. So if I'm making a film and directing it, I'm perfectly fine there. But if I go into working environments, I'm not going to probably be the guy who's going to fall in a clique. Of course, I'm going to try to be friends with everyone. I don't care about your political or religious views, but I kind of do that from a distance. And I think, too, people think I have a podcast or a YouTube channel or all this stuff that I kind of push out there publicly. They think that's kind of extroverted when, again, most of what I do is very independent and by myself, I realized, including my podcast and, again, my YouTube channel and, again, my books. Everything I kind of do, I'm doing it by myself most of the time, with the exception of maybe making my books or maybe doing something, but there's only usually one other person involved, not a bunch. And, I think, and I didn't mean to digress to that, but I think a lot of us kind of got to figure out really throughout life who we are, what we're doing, and what battles we got to kind of, take on to a certain degree. And I do think maybe I should be, talking more to other people, because I saw this about self-doubt today. And one of the things I read about was maybe, you having a lot of doubt too. sometimes, like back to depression. Depression, I think, too, and I'm not an expert, but like I think a lot of times we get depressed or we get aggravated or whatever you want to call it because that doubt comes in. Because we may have failed at a lot of things before or it didn't succeed at the way we wanted to. So now we doubt ourselves, which actually, again, puts us in some form of depression, I think, or some type of, I call it paralyzation, where you just don't know what to do. Should I do it? Should I not do it? Constantly second-guessing yourself. Feeling that no matter what decision you make, most likely it may end up wrong or not where you want it again. Or people are going to look at you at a certain way because you're taking on another project. You're going to fail again, or you're going to get a bunch of success to a certain degree. It may not be financial success. And I think so many people go through this, man, but they just don't talk about it. So I just want to do a podcast on this. If you feel this way, I want people to know there's a lot of other people out there, I believe, feel the same way. Because I talk to a lot of these people, especially with my stuff when I'm trying to help men with women or trying to help them with fitness or trying to just help them build confidence. A lot of it comes down to just doubting yourself. And I think, just because at times, and I think a lot of us doubt ourselves, you're in a slump. It's like they'll be like, it's depression. I don't always think we're depressed. I just think we have to understand we're going to take on different emotions regarding different times in our lives. And depression, again, I'm not an expert, but maybe everybody does handle it differently, which I'm sure they do. Some may just lay in bed, can't get out of bed. Some sit on a couch and just want to watch TV. Some may drink, some may smoke, some may lash out. I guess we all have our ways of dealing with that. But also, I can't tell you what to do and not to do in life because it's none of my business. But understand a lot of times you're going to get through things. I think when we're aggravated or depressed or all that, it just feels like it's going to be endless, right? It just is going to go on forever. But, you got to be the one that kind of starts switching gears up and changing things up and figuring things out. It's hard. You got to do it. You got to do it. And again, back to maybe talking with others. It doesn't mean you have to spew all your shit on other people or tell everybody about your problems, but maybe just talking to people about certain things that you're interested in, that you'd like to do, and maybe doing things with other people is the answer. Instead of maybe if you are somebody who's extremely introverted, and on the flip side, if you're very extroverted and you're not getting what you want out of always maybe talking to everyone, maybe it is time to just kind of go solo and do some things independently, take time out to think, and not be always consumed by others and just kind of figure out what you want independently. Take the time to take on the silence, I call it, like just not having to talk to anybody for like not a short amount of time. I'm not talking hours. I'm talking like for days, maybe just taking an hour or two out of your day just to think about what's going on in your life. I think a lot of people don't do that. And it's huge because when you do start doing that, you start to really realize, who you truly are, in my opinion, what you kind of want to do, and you don't have all the outside noise. So I'm going to wrap it up there. If you got any questions or comments, please feel free to hit me up. I'm at richcelenza.com. I have a program, masteringselfconfidence.com, which I try to help men find the women or women of their dreams. I also try to help men with confidence the best way I can. And these are a lot of things that come up, so this is the reason I talk about it. So take care, and I wish everyone the best.